Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we take a look at the inner workings of companies through their official filings. Today we're diving into a report from StageWise Strategies Corp, and this one's a bit of a doozy. It seems they had to refile the report because they got a pretty important number wrong. It's like showing up to a basketball game with only 4 players, not a recipe for success. So what's the real story behind this filing? Let's find out. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. First off, this isn't the original report. This is amendment number 1. The company is refiling or amending their report to fix a mistake. The error was in the number of authorized shares. They said something different in the original filing. They also changed how they described some cash flow items. Let's jump right into the numbers. We're going to look at the balance sheets from March of 2025 compared to the end of September the previous year. What do they own and what do they owe? First up, cash and cash equivalents. This is how much actual money they have on hand. In March, they had about $10,686. Back in September, they had a little more, around $11,343. So they're starting with less cash than 6 months prior. Next, let's look at intangible assets. These are things like trademarks or intellectual property that have value. In March, these were valued at roughly 1/3 to around $104,401 in September. That's a significant jump. It means the company has increased the value of their ideas or brand value. Now let's check the liabilities, the debts. Accounts payable shows how much money they owe to other companies or individuals for services or goods. In March, it was about $13,250 and $500 in September. So that stayed about the same. What about deferred revenue? This is when customers pay upfront for a service they haven't fully received yet. In March, it was around $5,272 compared to $10,000 in September. So deferred revenue went down, but we are not sure why. Loan from related parties. This is money the company borrowed from people connected to the business, such as executives. Here, the loan jumps from $121,831 to $82,050. So they are taking on more debt with insiders to fund operations. Lastly, let's look at stockholders' equity. Common stock here increased to $5,044 versus $34 6 months earlier. This means they sold more ownership in the company to investors for cash. Alright, let's switch gears to the income statement, which tells us how much money the company made or lost over a period of time. We'll look at the 6 months ending in March of 2025 and 2024. This will give us a sense of how StageWise Strategies is doing more recently. Revenue, this is the total amount of money they brought in from sales. The revenue was around $69,690 or $100 the previous year. So that is a huge increase in sales. But what about expenses? In the past 6 months, the total expenses were $53,973 and $221 in the previous year. So they spent more, but brought in a lot more revenue. Net income loss, ultimately, did they make money or lose money? Well, they reported a net income this time around $15,720. This is compared to the previous period where they had a loss of almost $20,000. So they went from losing money to making a small amount of money. Finally, let's dive into the cash flow statement. This statement tells us how much cash the company generated and spent. Looking at cash from operations, we can see they used $17,138. Even though they had a net income on paper, they actually used more cash than they received from operations. The previous year, they used around $28,828. And in dollars, our dollars are usually used around $28,872. Investing activities, cash used was around $71,050. In the previous year, it was lower, around $41,600, so they are spending more on investments. And in financing activities, they took in around $87,530. Last year, it was $70,030. This means they are either borrowing more or selling more stock. So what exactly does this company do? Well, StageWise Strategy says they focus on SEO services, helping businesses get seen online. They use data and algorithms to help clients get their products and services noticed in the digital world. Now, there's a section called Going Concern. This basically means, can the company continue to operate? Are they likely to go out of business? The company says that its ability to continue is reliant on its ability to generate profitable operations in the future and/or secure the required funding to meet its obligations. The company entered into an agreement of 133 twanned, 753 and 750 related to the development of its website, which will last until April of next year. The company capitalized around $70,000 in website development costs, amortized over 5 years. It looks like StageWise Strategies is investing in their technology and intellectual property. It will take a while to pay it back. Finally, there was a more recent event to disclose. The company entered into an amendment to the loan agreement originally dated November 25, 2024 with Victor Balan, a related party and lender. Pursuant to the amendment, the loan amount was increased from $200,000 to $350,000. All other terms and conditions of the original agreement remain unchanged. So let's zoom out and try to see the big picture here. The company had a big accounting error that needed to be corrected. Then, looking at the raw numbers, StageWise Strategies appears to be on an upswing. Sales are way up, and they've managed to turn a loss into a small profit. But even with the profit, they still used cash. To fund investing activities, they took on more debt. There are definitely risks involved, especially concerning how they are financing their debt from related parties. Alright, that's our breakdown of StageWise Strategies' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.